Welcome back everybody. Video today, right, one Makita and it's a DHP 482 Combi Drill. Okay, it was passed to me, it's my son's actually. Now when he gave it to me, it doesn't run whatsoever. So you put the battery in, pull the trigger, nothing. So I suspect first thing is it's the carbon brushes. If you ever get a drill like that, they're pretty simple to check. The screws are removed on this drill, by the way, and I will show you. Is to just check, take the back off, 2 screws, and check for carbon brushes. So this is what I found inside this one. You see? Virtually gone. That one's not too bad, but it's nearly gone. That had gone, and there were parts stuck in the motor, so I thought simple brushes replacement. Amazon, identical, and they fit a number of the drills. Pack of 8, £6 some pence. Okay, so reasonably cheap. So try that first. So I did, and to no avail. Once I'd tried that, yeah, the drill went round, but awfully smoky and making a funny noise. So I knew for a fact it had been burnt out. So the beauty about these drills are you can actually purchase the rotor inside the stator, or whatever you want to call it, and they're not expensive. But I'm going to go through it with you, and I'll show you what it entails. It's not too difficult, and you could do this if you've burnt your drill out. It's pretty simple to do, providing nothing else is damaged, the trigger and that. I've checked all the trigger and every other item out, the gearbox, it's all working. It's just the actual armature or stator. Okay, so we'll get down a bit close up and I'll show you what I mean. Right, here we are at the drill. Okay, now as I said, the screws are removed from here, and to check there's 2 screws in the back here, but to check the carbon brushes, just simply take the 2 screws and pull that out, and you can see the carbon brushes in there. They're new ones, which are put in, which I will have to take out in order to put the new armature in, or stator, whichever you want to call it. All right, I always keep in a magnetic drill tray, the screws. Okay, so I've taken that off, and then it's a simple case of, and that's the inside of it. Okay, now the stator inside that is it. Okay, pretty simple. There's no wiring connections to this part. I'll show you in a moment when I can get it out. In fact, I'll take this out. This is the gearbox. Okay, you can see that's the gearbox with the 2-speed switch. Alright, that slides backwards and forwards. Pretty simple to put in, and there's like 4 meshed gears inside there, so that actually fits inside there. You can feel it, it's going round now. It just slots in, that's all that does. And there's a housing there for that bearing, which comes on the new one. Alright, so that's that out. Take this out, and there's a right and a wrong way of putting this in. Now that's your magnet type. Alright, so there's a right and a wrong way of putting this in. I'll show you in a moment. And if you can see there is a little spring, and that I think is a thermoresistor or what have you. It's cut out if it detects over temperature, or the unit gets that hot, it'll cut it out. Okay, that has to go back into that little thing there, but you can put that in once you've put the coil back in. All right, so first thing we do is I've got to take these back out, because it's very difficult. You can actually do it like that, poking it back in, sorry, that way, and lifting those up and putting it back in. Alright, but first thing we're going to do, put this back in along with the magnets. Right, if you can see that, there's a little spring arm that holds it that's pushing on that carbon brush. If you get a pair of narrow nose pliers, there's a little nick at the end there. You can see it on that one there. Little nick. Lift the spring up and that'll sit there. That enables you to push that brush, that carbon brush, back up. Alright? Pretty simple. It just needs a little bit of delicate touch. There we go, that's the other one. Pop that back in. So they are now fully engaged back into the carbon brush seating. Alright, you can see those. You can see the little springs back on there and there. And the brush is pushed out. And there's a groove in top of the brushes there. You can see that. That's where the spring sits. That's forcing it down. Alright, now to put these on, there's a little clip. I'll get you the old one. When you put the new one in, that is the clip. Okay, that clip goes round that top part. It sits there. There's two little notches in either side, and that sits over there like that. You see that? Really simple. You can't mistake, just put them back on the way you've taken them off. Alright, so first thing, I'll get your new one out. Purchased this from Amazon and it was 25 quid. Well, if the drill works perfect after that, you've got a drill back for 25 quid. Because they're about 50-60 pound of the bodies only anyway. So it's worthwhile doing. And remember, I said to you, there's a right and a wrong way of putting that back in. Alright, that's the magnets that are inside that runs around the stator. You see there's a groove there, a little notch out. You can see that there, a little notch. Well, if you look inside that there, you can just see a little pointer there. That's where that has to sit. Let me pop it in. You can see that little notch in the bottom there, and that's where it has to sit, right in there. Okay, then get your new stator. Okay, now that's how it sits in there. And what I do is pop that back in there. It doesn't matter about the magnets pulling it because it will line itself up in a moment. So you put that back as I stated to you, through the hole. So that's back in now. Okay, just a bit fiddly putting it out because inevitably this will move out. Alright, then get your gearbox. That slides in there, and you just have to wiggle it until it engages again. That slides in there. Okay, so that's now back in. This will still be touching on inside where you stator to the magnets because the bearing's not centralized there. Alright, so now what we do, we have to re-engage the little sensor there. So that goes in to there, and that's how that sits in. Just sits in. You can see it in there, inside there. Just pushes in with a spring point down, and that sensor goes in. Alright, so that's that job. Now we release the carbon brushes again, push them back in, and then with your spring just move it. You can do it with your finger, you don't need the pliers. There you go. So your carbon brushes are now touching again. Right, make sure everything's back in, no cables are going to be trapped. Alright, place your unit back over. Simple as that. Clip it, done. Alright, now what we have to do is put that back on in there, and that centralises that. Alright, then it's a simple case of putting the screws back in, which we'll do now. Back together. Okay, now proof of the pudding, let's try it. There we go, working. So for set of brushes, and I bought these because he'd some more drills that I did for him. So £7, and if you work it out, there's eight packs, so you're talking a couple of quid just over, or a couple of quid for a set of brushes. It's neither here nor there. And that from Amazon was 25 quid. Alright, now you can see where it's burnt out. I don't, if I can show you, let's see if I can. It's very difficult because I'm looking on Pocket 2 Pro and it's a very small screen, but you can just see the coils there, all burnt and smouldered, and they've gone. The insulated coating's gone, so it just shorts out. Alright, but it was running, tempting to run around on some others, but yeah, no good. So it's had a new for 25 quid and £2. Under £30 you've got your drill back, and as I say, that is damn sight more costly than 30 quid. So yeah, it's worth it. Well, that's the ending of this video. I looked and I checked, because I did say to him at first, I don't think I can get a stator for it. It'd be expensive if you want a Makita one. Anyway, I sourced it at 25 quid, and I checked up the average from about £60 thereabouts upwards, decent one. So for half that he's got his drill back. Alright, well, under half. So yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything and it does help my channel. It is growing slowly, but I'm happy with it. If you've got any comments or questions, please feel free. I'll help you where I can. I've been getting a steady flow of messages to if I can help them, and most people I can help them or direct them in the right direction, so to speak. But it is what it is. I try and put a little bit of a video on each week, and if you remember, if you've watched my last one, which is on the tool and cutter grinder, I will sharpen drill bits because I don't have the drill bit attachment for mine, and I weren't purchasing it, so I use a 3D printer for some special collets, and I sharpen my drill bits, and they are perfect when they're done. Can't complain, and I've done enough of them. and I've touched wood, never had any, oh, touch wood, never had any complaints. So if you watch that, you'll hear me explain that I'm going to do a video about the motorcycles that I have. Something's occurred, and I'm going to share it with you, and see what you think. And if any bikers out there have come across the same or been in the same situation as me, then please let me know. It's not come as a shock to me really, but I knew at the back of my mind something had to change with the motorcycles that I had. So yeah, but that's for another video. I won't give too much away. Don't forget, thumbs up, watch out for me next video, and please be safe and be careful out there. It's getting a bit aggressive out there now. I don't walk in places that I would normally go, not on my own certainly, and if my wife found out, I think she'd have something to say. So until my next video, bye for now.